But God created us. He breathed life into us. And even today, relatively few people see him as king, and fewer yet experience him as king. And you and I are somewhere on the spectrum between having an evil heart of disbelief and fully recognizing him as king. I know this because the books of Moses, or what's called the Torah, and the writings, the Psalms and the other histories and the prophets and the New Testament explicitly tell us how to be on the right path. And so we have this book to read to show us how to be on the right path. And so I know, therefore, you're somewhere on that spectrum, and I don't know where. Only your heart knows. But we need to seek to learn the wisdom of God and to apply it in our lives. The Bible needs to be read and studied. We need to pray and seek God's guidance. And believers today, we see God at work, and we need to comprehend in everything that we see that God is at work. We're living in a generation where there are plenty of Korachs and Dathans and Abrahams who despise God. And God is looking for us to recognize that these are the birth pains of the Messiah coming back. As trouble increases, God's people need to do what Moses did. We need to humble ourselves and ask God to intercede. As trouble increases, God will be exalted more and more. And we need to point out when we see him at work so that they exalt God. We can't fight abortion and trafficking and corruption and government and high divorce rates, you name what it is, without crying out to God. When this nation, when the world sees that there is only one sovereign God, the God of Israel, who created all things, then the hearts of people will change and the world will be a better place. It won't be a perfect place, but it'll be a better place. You can stop a riot by having everybody in a riot come to faith. That's the easiest way to do it. Here's the good news for believers who have been trusting in human leadership more than God. Samuel tells the people in 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 20, "Fear not. Indeed, you have done all this evil, yet you do not turn aside from following the Lord, but worship the Lord with all your heart. Do not turn aside to go after empty things that cannot profit or deliver, for they are futile. Only fear the Lord and worship him in truth with all your heart, considering how magnificently he has dealt with you." And then here's the warning at the end. "But if you persist in acting wickedly, you will be swept away, both you and your king." So the call to action is to follow God. Worship God with all your heart. Worship him in truth. Consider how magnificently he has dealt with you, and even in the last 6 hours, he has dealt with you in magnificent ways. And let him know that. I'm waiting for the return of Jesus, waiting for him to rule and reign on earth, waiting for him to open the gates of the New Jerusalem, and I hope you are too. The eyes of all nations need to open up so that they can see God for who he truly is. His kingship has become veiled because we don't show it through enough. It's up to the faithful remnant of believers to unveil the kingdom of Jesus through the power of the Holy Spirit. The time has come to proclaim the kingdom in such a way that people are going to see the living God through us, reflected in us. And it's pretty straightforward. Believers need to live like he is king, because he is our king. He was king, he is king, and forevermore